Hey, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in, and I must say I'm extremely excited because this is like my second video in 1 week that I've posted, and it's like I'm on a roll. I'm really on a roll and I'm loving it. I'm able to push out content like crazy during this quarantine, right? And before we get started, I want you to stop what you're doing, hit that little subscribe button that's down below, follow me on Instagram, and join me over on Facebook at Tanae Bernard Turner. And let me just thank you in advance for doing all three of those. The video today is specifically for moms who are trying to figure out how to maintain their sanity during this time of COVID-19. So if you stick around, I'll give you 9 tips of how to maintain your sanity in a household full of kids during this time. Stick around. So tip number 1, are you listening? Do you have your pencil and your paper ready? Because this is the most important tip of them all. This will save you and save and spare your sanity. Are you ready? Here's my most precious tip. Hide. Hide. Hide so that you can breathe. Yes, hide. Hide in your closet. Hide in your car. And when you hide in your car, you're going to take the seat, you're going to lean it all the way back so that they can't see you. Hide. I know you're probably saying that's really silly, but I guarantee you it works. They'll spend the next 30 minutes playing hide and go seek with mommy because they're looking for you. And while they're doing that, you're breathing, you're catching your breath, you're unwinding, you're eating your Oreos in your closet, the ones that you hide in the back of the closet. That's what you're going to do. That's my most valuable tip. You will hide from them kids. You will hide from that husband. Hide. You'll thank me. All right, tip number 2. So on a more serious note, I know hiding was like, that was probably the best one I got. But on a more serious note, this is something that I'm very good at, and I think that I'm probably almost on expert status when it comes to this, is delegate. Delegate the responsibilities of the household to other team members of the household, like the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry. If you have children or a spouse, they can help out. It is not totally mommy's responsibility to take care of the entire household. Why shouldn't the other team members? Because this is a team. We are a family. Everyone should legit be helping out. So what I do for my home is we have a chore chart. And the chore chart breaks down each day of the week and whose responsibility it is to clean the kitchen. So 6 days out of the week, we have, well, 5 because the twins double up. So 5 days out of the week, we have someone that's cleaning the kitchen that is not myself or my husband. The kids are responsible for making sure the kitchen is clean at the end of the night, making sure the floor is swept, and everything is shut down in the kitchen. I delegate that. The kids are responsible for their own laundry. Even our 9-year-olds are responsible to make sure that their laundry is maintained and folded and put away. They do a fabulous job. That takes the load off of me. Another thing is, make sure if you have a spouse, make sure they're also pulling their load. It is not totally mommy's responsibility to take care of the whole household. This is how you maintain your sanity. Delegating. Delegate it. So tip number 3. Tip number 3 is to loosen up. Mom, loosen up. You can't do it all. And I know right now we're in a position where we're required to homeschool our children. We're required to help them with their digital learning, and it can become very overwhelming. Like I said, I have 6 kids in the household, and I've learned to loosen up. I am not going to sit here and try to make sure everyone does everything on time when it's supposed to be done, because this is difficult. We are mainly trying to maintain our mental health and to maintain our sanity. And if it means that turning in an assignment a day late, then that is okay with me. As long as my kids are happy and healthy, that is my biggest concern. So what I would say to you is to loosen up. If the dishes don't get done in the daytime, make sure they get done the next day. It's no big issue. It's gonna be okay. But in order to maintain your sanity, you have to be able to loosen up. If you have to order out for a meal, having a home cooked meal 7 days a week is not a requirement during this time. It's not. And it's okay if you don't cook 7 days a week. Guess what? A bowl of cereal for dinner, it works. It actually works. Let the kids pick their favorite cereal and tell them it's for dinner. I guarantee you, mind-blowing. Tip number 4, create a self-care routine, which is extremely important. During this time, I have started doing facials on myself, at-home facials. I am taking bubble baths with no interruptions. I turn that jazz music up so loud, and I sip on my wine. And yes, I sip on my wine. My kids are looking at me like, you don't sip on wine. Mommy. Mommy sips wine. Yes, so take bubble baths, like sit down and meditate. Do yoga. You can find yoga on YouTube. Do some yoga posing. Just whatever you do, create a self-care routine that helps you maintain your sanity. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. You can even send yourself flowers during this time. Whatever brings you peace and brings you happiness, it's important that you do that for yourself. My next tip is something that helps me make sure I accomplish a few things and make sure my level of productivity is high throughout the day. And that's writing down my top 3 goals that I have for each day. And I ensure that whatever I do, I make sure those 3 are done. And if nothing else gets done, that's good. I've maintained my goals. I've done my top 3. Everything else, oh well. The laundry will get done. The bathroom will get cleaned another day. Whatever I have to do, I've done my top 3 goals. So whatever your top 3 goals are, I suggest every morning you wake up, write them down. Write down what it is you want to accomplish for the day and simply focus on those 3 things. Tip number 6. Get outside. Get some sunlight. Play with your kids. Yes, I said it. Play with your kids. Go outside, run around. It actually feels good. Like, it feels good to run outside. And you know what? I'm only saying that because I'm in Texas and the weather here has been absolutely gorgeous. But if you are somewhere where you have great weather, I suggest you go for a walk. Practicing social distancing, of course. But go for a walk. Get some sunlight into your life. It actually helps your mood. It helps the blood get to flowing. And it just feels good. I have been walking every day during this quarantine, during this lockdown. I walk every morning and sometimes I walk in the evenings as well. So I suggest to you, go outside. All right, so tip number 7 is journaling. Get yourself, it doesn't have to be a fancy journal. Just get a tablet, get a tablet that's hanging around the house. And every night, just journal. Journal how you feel. Journal what made you feel overwhelmed. Journal what made you feel not happy that day. Just write it down and get it all out and put it on paper. It's important to make sure that you are expressing yourself now, not only on paper, but that you're expressing yourself. If you have a mate, you're expressing yourself to your mate to make sure that you don't get overwhelmed with emotion by holding it all in. So please make sure that you are journaling, that you are communicating with your other team members of your household, which is your kids included. So your kids are included in this. They are teammates. So just express yourself by journaling and by communicating. The next tip I have for you is just almost up there with my tip number 1. Remember, tip number 1 was hide. This one is almost as valuable. It's sleep in. If you have the ability to sleep in, I suggest at least take a day here and there and try your best to sleep in. And I know most of us are working from home, which I am too. But on the weekends, if you have that opportunity, take it. Like, don't get out of bed. You can be awake. Just don't get out of bed. Take that time to rejuvenate, to sit there in silence, just to sit with your thoughts. Whatever you do, just sleep in. And if you do have a spouse, allow your spouse to take it on for the day. Like, you take the kids. Is that bad? So, my tip number 8 is to sleep in. And my final tip is virtual therapy and support. Please make sure during this time that you are not alone. And I know that we can't visit our family and friends, but it's important that we still reach out to them and communicate with them. We have some type of socialization, even if it is through Zoom. Also, if you have the ability to have virtual therapy sessions, I suggest that you try to have your therapy session virtually, which is something that I'm doing as well. That my therapist is allowing me to have sessions through Zoom so that I can continue on and make sure that my mental health is at priority. So what I would say to you is reach out to your family, have Zoom chats, try your best to have some form of socialization while practicing social distancing. So if none of these work for you, make sure you always go back to number 1. If all else fails, hide. Hide in your closet, hide in your car. But what I want you to do is let's continue this conversation. Share your tips with me on how you're maintaining sanity during this time of COVID-19. Drop your comments below. Maybe you need to inbox me. You have more questions for me, or you can share some information with me of what I can do to maintain my sanity in this big house, because it's a lot of us. Yes, it's a lot. So don't forget, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook at Tanae Bernard Turner, and always peace and love.